I made $1 million in sales at 18 years old, but you won't believe how I did it. September 2020, the middle of the pandemic. I spent the last year and a half starting dozens of online dropshipping businesses, only to lose my entire life savings and land in over $10,000 of debt. I was enrolled in online community college, taking the same classes I completed in high school, and the world had shut down. I was getting hundreds of chargebacks for delayed orders, and business was going downhill fast. Life was miserable. I needed a way out. Now, I had one trick up my sleeve. Earlier in the year, I'd used half of my PPP loan to gain access to a $6,000 a year e-commerce mastermind. The group was filled with the best e-commerce experts and entrepreneurs I'd ever met, and it helped expand my knowledge tenfold. I had access to more resources than ever, but I knew from learning the hard way, dropshipping was not the answer. So I reached out and asked for help from the group to make room for improvement. I noticed some were dropshipping like me, some ran big name e-commerce brands, and some were doing something I'd never heard of. It was called print on demand, and it was exactly as it sounded. Merchandise was printed for customers on demand. The business model took the low risk aspects of dropshipping and added fast shipping with quality products, all fulfilled in the United States. Instead of placing orders from China, only to arrive months later broken, customers received premium merchandise delivered in a few days, and it had great margins. I could buy a hoodie for 12 bucks and sell it for almost 50, leaving room for marketing. It sounded much more promising, and I saw people like Travis Scott or Logan Paul sell their own merch, so I knew it was legit. But I just lost $40,000 dropshipping and needed to wrap my head around it. Was this another scheme I couldn't recover from? How was I gonna find a product market fit? Was I really in the financial position to do this? How was I gonna pay off my debt? Maybe my parents were right. Maybe I should just get a real job and call it quits. The more I thought about it, the deeper I dove and asked more questions to the ones doing it themselves. They had great resources like where to find the best print quality, how to launch your store, and I already knew how to run Facebook ads, so what else did I have to lose? Besides the dropshipping stores burning a hole in my pocket. I was intrigued enough, so I shut down my dropshipping stores to learn more about launching my own clothing brand. What was it gonna be about? Who was it gonna be for? How was I gonna market profitably? I had a slight idea, but I knew it had to be something people were passionate about. Sports apparel was off the table. All the branding was trademarked. Maybe an animal brand? I didn't know much about animals. Outer space related? Also trademarked. Then it hit me. Since I turned 18 that year, I'd vote in the upcoming election. Now, I didn't know anything about politics and made the conscious decision to stay away from it entirely. I saw how it divided people and led to pointless arguments, but I needed to do research anyways. Then I thought, why don't I create an American clothing brand? Aren't people passionate about our country? The American flag wasn't trademarked last time I checked, so I came up with a snappy name like American Waffle, bought the domain, set up the store, slapped an American flag on a hoodie, and ran some ads. To my surprise, it got a few sales, but nowhere near profitable. I'd gone in with the intention of trying to bring people together with their love for country, but it was leading nowhere. Maybe I was doing this all wrong. Maybe the biggest spenders were the ones most passionate. Say what you want about Trump, the guy knows how to sell merch. So I switched my designs to whatever was going on in the news at the time. Chumps for Trump, Chief Clown Pelosi, funny Biden gaffes. And you know what? People were buying them up like hotcakes. I realized all I had to do was keep testing designs till one of them took off, then advertise it like crazy. To make my job easier, Biden was spewing out ideas like an unhinged sprinkler.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. Stacked spaghetti sauce at a store. 200 million people have died. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. You ain't black.
But forget Biden, Trump would flat out sell them to his audience.
I kept saying, where the hell is Hunter? Because he was gone. You know, they caught him stealing a lot of money. Then I said, wait a minute. That's a great idea for a t-shirt. We came out with a t-shirt. Where's Hunter? It became one of the big successes of the year.
So people were certain to buy. I then sent shirts to influencers or actors to level up ads. I added upsells to increase the average order value. I collected customer feedback and tested new designs. Finally, I started seeing some traction, but things were heating up. People were rioting like the Hunger Games or locked in their homes. The debates had started. I was searching the internet day and night, trying to find designs that sparked a flame on Instagram or TikTok or Etsy, until I came across a sort of meme that had gone viral in a Facebook group. Written were the words, "We the people are pissed off." It was brilliant, clear, and direct, exactly what people were looking to express. And because they were being censored across social media, wearing the message was the only place they could express it. With this in mind, I tested the design and it exploded. People could not get enough. I put it on shirts, on hoodies, on tank tops, and it would later go on to claim almost 80% of the revenue. Because the return on investment was so great, I started scaling up ad spend to reach more people. I tested different ads and copies to see which worked best and gained more of an understanding about our community. Loyal, hardworking, blue-collar Americans. Things were really starting to come together. Then crisis struck. Our worst case scenario had become reality. We were censored, a total blackout. Payment processors froze our money, Google stopped us from advertising, our Facebook page was banned, Instagram shadow banned us, Snapchat was useless, but worst of all, our email service provider had shut us down. All because one woke employee complained about our content. And because opt-in laws prevented us from switching providers easily, we just lost 12,000 customers overnight. I was terrified with no clue what to do. So I hired a specialized consultant on the matter.
Sam Weinstein says, "Hey Ben, I'm a small business owner. We use Shopify to host our site, which I like using. But with the cancellation of all monopolistic corporations taking down conservative sites, I believe we're in danger. Our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok have all been shadow banned or restricted from advertising. I've managed to find loopholes around this. Now our email service provider has kicked us off for allegedly violating their policies without explanation. I'm worried it won't stop there. How can small businesses like mine survive if there are no alternative platforms or tools available to work with businesses like mine?" This is the big question.
It seemed the only thing we could do was start from scratch on an alternative platform or launch a texting community. It was less than ideal, but I was able to create a new Facebook page and start running ads again. As a result, sales started to climb back up. By withstanding the chaos, it seemed a true product market fit had been discovered. People could not get enough of it. I was slowly but surely putting the pieces back together. I hired a developer, outsourced customer service, and switched to shirts made in the USA. And that's when what can only be described as a miracle took place. January 6th.
But Sam, January 6th was no miracle. An angry mob stormed the Capitol. People got hurt. Democracy was in danger.
And that's what I felt waking up to the news that morning. The images were horrifying. In fact, I'd been at the Capitol just a few months before. You weren't allowed in with an empty water bottle. Then I checked Shopify sales and screamed, "Holy!" Each day, I was spending $1,000 on Facebook ads. That morning, I made $10,000, 3 days straight. Since the president had been thrown off social media and Parler was banned from the App Store, our competition had been wiped off the face of the earth. We were eating everyone else's lunch and people were starving. That month of January, I went on to make $50,000 profit. I was still in college, wasting my time being lectured by woke activists and presenting business presentations to professors that never ran a business. I had to get out, and now I could. After being locked inside the California prison for over a year, I needed to escape, go somewhere, anywhere else. And there was one place I had in mind. Somewhere I'd always dreamed of moving before the snowbirds or crypto cowboys made it cool. That place was Miami, Florida. Why Miami? There's a handful of reasons. Sunshine, opportunity, people. But at the time, it was the only place advertising freedom. So I made a list of 10 apartments and booked the next flight out. By the time I landed, 7 of the 10 apartments had been completely sold out. It seemed like others had the same idea. I toured a few, found one I liked, and put down a deposit. When I flew back, I had a choice to make. Either stay in community college down a path of dread and despair, or risk it all and move to the Magic City. Growing up, my parents had always said, go to college, get a job, just as their generation had. Otherwise, I'd be forced to pay rent. I didn't want to make any rash decisions, so I waited until I saw 6 figures in my bank account and said, F it. I ain't doing either. The next day, I dropped out of college, packed up everything I had into my 2002 Honda, and drove 6 days across the entire United States. From Sacramento to Las Vegas, from Las Vegas to Santa Rosa, from Santa Rosa to Dallas, running out of gas near Dallas, Dallas to Pensacola, and Pensacola to Miami. And I loved it. It was only fitting to attend an exotic car show as I arrived. Compared to California's lockdown and hysteria, I felt free from the doom and gloom of the pandemic. The yachts, the beaches, the supercars. It seemed like this extravagant lifestyle affected everyone. I had my dream apartment. I bought my dream car. I had a successful business. I earned millions of Amex points. I took business trips around the world. I attended private events. I survived Rolling Loud, Astroworld, and more. Life was absolutely bonkers. But as crazy as it was, the job wasn't finished.
The job's not finished.
I'd yet to hit my goal of reaching 7 figures and was focused on scaling up by improving systems. That is, until Apple decided to drop a nuke on small businesses by not allowing Facebook to track data. On some days, we were spending money blind. I had no idea if dollars were made or lost. And this guessing game was not sustainable. I needed a stronger foundation. Performance was dipping, and I realized my business was mortal once again. I could not solely rely on one platform for marketing. I needed a stronger foundation. That's when I tried TikTok ads. At the time, their ad platform had just been revamped, with far less competition than Facebook. I started testing creatives and experimenting with different audiences. It was difficult to get things approved at first, but as spend increased, we got access to our own rep who was able to pre-approve ads for us. I started ramping up ad spend until we hit tens of thousands of dollars per day. And with the power of both Facebook and TikTok combined, on September 23rd, 2021, the business crossed $1 million in sales in 1 year. And we went on to have our best month ever, finally accomplishing what I dreamed of achieving. I was now a 7-figure business owner with almost 30,000 customers served and thousands of 5-star reviews. I had everything I ever dreamed of. And then it all came crashing down. Or did it? Click here to watch part 4.